Hello, beautiful people, and welcome. Genshin Impact Political Compass. Okay, so we got authoritarian. By the way, take all of this with a grain of salt. Okay, reducing political ideas to a two-axis system is incredibly wrong in terms of like factual accuracy. Things do not work like that in real life. Political compass is a nice little way of getting a basic idea for where your ideas stand, but that's all it really is. Okay, I just want to make this very clear. Okay, like political compass stuff is like, it's it's a nice little thing, but it's not rigorous in any way, shape, or form. Okay, I mean, I think let's start with the easiest ones, okay? So I think venti. So venti is 100% as libertarian as it gets, but I don't know if he would actually be left. Cause what kind of like you look at Monside and it's like venti is too libertarian to actually implement any kind of left or right-wing policies. Right? I think he would be a center lib. He's not a centrist. He's very, I mean, yeah. He doesn't do anything. No, he doesn't do anything politically related. Yeah, he's too libertarian to be put in the axis of left to right. Okay. Another really easy one will be raiden. So raiden is as authoritarian as it gets. Give me your arguments for left or right. Chat. I want to hear them. Police state? Yeah. Closed borders? Okay, I think I'll put her like here. She doesn't go into too right, like too far right, because the like anti-immigration policies aren't based around any form of like race superiority or anything like that. It's just she wants her nation to do its own thing. So it won't be like too far right, but it's definitely right-ish. Yeah, and like she's been convinced to open borders and shit. Can you explain left-right again, please? Again, right? Political compass is a massive oversimplification, and left to right is more complicated than something that can be put on like one axis. But basically, right is more based on like individual and left is more based on like communal. Like that's the nicest way I can put it. Right is like based on individual freedom, all that, like your own thing, your family, stuff like that. Left is based on like your community. Yeah, like the individualism is at the forefront when it comes to the right, and like what your personal like things are. Very often there's a lot of traditionalism as well, and left is more like based on like the greater good of people, like not greater good, but based on equality and community. Like very often in real life, what leads people right is like senses of like selfishness and stuff like that, and what leads to people left is like wanting to help people, but that's not like a strict definition, and theoretically it could be possible to have a right-wing person who's not selfish, right? But it's just, anyways, let's not get too, let's stick to the Genshin, yeah? Let's not get too into real world politics for this one. Raiden is economic left, but civil/socially right wing. Yeah, like there's not that much wealth inequality. That sounds like a leftist definition. I mean, you know what they say. Reality has a left-leaning bias. Oh yeah, like for context, if I were to put myself on this, I'd probably be somewhere around here. Maybe here. I don't know. I feel like when I was younger, I was more like here. Maybe like here. But I feel like as time passes, I move further left and a little bit up. I think I would be centrist. The thing about centrism is that as a centrist, like, what do you do if the status quo is not at the center, right? Like, if the current political climate has most people being in this area, and you are here, what are you gonna do? You're gonna say, I'm a centrist, I don't, like, really want to go either way? Or are you gonna align with people that are left of this because you want to bring things more towards where your views align. If it's the former, I don't respect you and I think you're cringe. If it's the latter, sure, whatever. Yeah, let's finish the Archons, actually. Let's do zhongli. I think zhongli would be, like, lib right. Current day zhongli would be lib right. Or maybe, like, lib slightly right. Pre-retirement zhongli would be, like, here, probably. Actually, probably more right. Probably more like here. Yeah, like, he did invent capitalism, that's true. He should be more authoritarian. I feel like it depends on when you look at him. It's like, it's just because, like, right now in the story, he does, like, he actively goes out of his way to not help people. Right? Like, he's very, not because he thinks that helping people wouldn't be good, just because he just doesn't want to give a shit. Right? Like, post-Archon Quest Zhongli is as libertarian as it gets, I feel. Still helps Xiao? Yeah, but that's not doing a political move, that's helping a homie. Right? Like, that's not... Although, okay, now that I think about it, this doesn't work, because a retired politician isn't, like, politically active anymore, but it doesn't change what their views are. Okay, I think I'll put him here. Actually, no, I'll put him here. Yeah, actually, no, that's a good point. He retired because he wanted other people to, like, be able to decide for themselves. So that's an argument to put him further down. Yeah, like, he did surrender authority. Retire because he was tired? Sure, but... Like, yeah, yesn't. Alright, let's just put him center right. Agreed? Agreed. Okay. Alright, now Nahida? Okay.
You still have a special place in
so, let's first talk about left-right, because I think that most people will agree that Nahida leans left. Sumeru as a whole is a very, like, community-based place. And the changes that Nahida has made since she came into power seem to be focused on people's, like, well-being rather than stuff like financial success and things like that, right? But I'm seeing a lot of people saying libertarian, and I don't know if I agree with that. I don't think I do. I think I would put her slightly authoritarian, very left. Something like around here. I feel like you can make an argument either way. She worships knowledge. I don't think that really is an argument that pushes her in any direction. Like, knowledge... Knowing things is not... I mean, I guess it pushes her slightly left. I guess. But, like, basically the thing is, like... It's hard to judge if she's authoritarian or libertarian, because even if she were libertarian, the reality is that when she took power, when she became, like, when she actually managed to get her Archon powers and actually be able to do things, at the moment she did that was when there was, like, a tyrannical authority in charge. And taking an approach that's too libertarian with something like that, you're not going to change the status quo, right? Yeah, because there's, like, a power vacuum. So it's hard to tell if the control that she took is because she wants to take that control, or because she's trying to, like, go for a transitional period. I think you could very much... Nahida being more authoritarian than Zhongli is kind of wrong, but Zhongli is literally not... Like, Zhongli literally gave power to the people. Like, that's what he did. Like, he did that. Like, that's the thing that he did. Right? Like, he... I get what you're saying, but also it's like... Yeah. Zhongli is capitalist. Capitalism is not necessarily authoritarian. If anything, if you look at, like, what capitalism as a baseline system is, it's not authoritarian at all, right? What people view as true capitalism, which is, like, basically capitalism without restrictions, is the exact opposite of authoritarian. Yeah, like, capitalism in its purest form would be, like, here. Maybe not here, maybe, like, here. Because you will have some authoritarian influences, but they're not going to be controlled by political power. They're going to be controlled by, like, monetary power. Yeah, like, the natural conclusion of capitalism is a form of authoritarian influence, for sure. But I don't think that the idea that, like, zhongli is a capitalist, therefore he should be authoritarian, is a fully formed one. Like, if you distill it down to its purest form, right? Authoritarian is you make people do things, and libertarian is you let people do things, right? Yeah, nahida is less authoritarian than the academia was, but is still a divine head of government as opposed to zhongli or venti. Yeah, exactly, right? Like, there was a libertarian shift with nahida taking power, but she is still the god governing a region, right? Nahida could also be seen as a bit more libertarian than the sages because of her efforts to help spread education to the desert. Yeah, but, I mean, that's not really libertarian. That's more left than libertarian. Nahida left lib because Sumeru has major welfare stuff. Welfare is not libertarian. Chat. It is left, but it is not libertarian. Welfare is the government doing things and interfering with people's lives. In a positive manner, but interfering with people's lives nonetheless. It's the government having the power to do something and doing it. It is authoritarian more than libertarian. It's not top libertarian, top authoritarian, but it is more up than down. How is it not top authoritarian? Because you're not restricting people's ability to do things, you're giving people the option to do a thing, right? So they still have the liberty to decide not to take part in the thing, right? I think Jean will be pretty close to Nahida, actually. Right lib? What are you talking about? I would put her here. Maybe even more authoritarian, but yeah. Close to it. I don't want to put her too high in authoritarian because at the end of the day, she didn't really choose to be in the position of power that she's in. Like, she does take it, and she does, like, choose to take it, but it's because she feels like she has to, not because she wants to. Like, she wants to feel like she has to, but she doesn't want to, you know? Like, I feel like here would be a good place to put her. She seems pretty lib for a leader. I mean, yes, but also let's examine what you just said. Pretty lib for a leader. Now, this may come as a surprise to you, but leaders are people in a position of authority. So they usually tend to be a little bit more authoritarian than people who are not in those positions of authority. Is she pretty lib for a leader? Yeah, probably. Does that mean that she is inherently at the bottom of the graph? I'm not so sure. I don't think she's higher than Nahida. I think that the main reason why I'm putting Nahida lower is because Nahida has like an actual excuse for being forced to take the power, right? And that excuse is that there is currently a power vacuum in Sumeru. And if no one takes power, bad things are gonna happen. There's no real power vacuum in Mondstadt, so there's no need to assume the position of acting Grandmaster. At the end of the day, she does it because she thinks that the position is necessary. There has to be an acting Grandmaster. There has to be a Grandmaster, and because he's gone, I have to take his role. I feel like Jean's religious following of Barbados implies an adherence to the concept of freedom. Her job is to help maintain and ensure that freedom. That's an interesting take. Like, at the end of the day, it's gonna be hard to be very precise with stuff like that because we just aren't given enough information. And some of that information I haven't seen, right? Because I'm not a huge lore nerd. I haven't read through every book. I haven't read every character's voice lines. Maybe I'm putting my center to, well, middle instead of, yeah. Okay, I think I'll move everyone down a little. Except Raiden. Raiden stays there. Yeah, I wish I could move Venti more down, that's true. I don't think there's anyone else in Mondstadt who's like in a real position of authority. I guess Barbara, because there is actually pretty shitty separation. There is no real separation of church and state in Mondstadt. Because the state is vague, which makes it so that the church does have kind of an assumed an assumed position of authority. I don't think she'd be center. The thing is, it's so hard to judge things like that because what the fuck is Mondstadt's religion? What does their Bible say? Does their Bible have the same kind of sexist bullshit that the Christian Bible has? Can it be used to justify horrible things? Probably not. Looking at Venti? Worship wine? Yeah. I think I'd just put her like here. Actually, no, that's not true. I feel like Barbara's an interesting example because she's like a devout, I don't know, barbated? What would you call... What even is the name of the religion? Like, we know their god is Barbados, but what is the name of the religion? And what do you call a follower of that religion? Favonian? I don't know. Favj. She's a devout Favonian and all. But she definitely shows throughout the few interactions that we have with her that she does think that the church needs to be, like, respected in a way that's, like, a little authoritarian, but also the church's sayings are basically just don't be authoritarian. So it's hard to place her, you know? I feel like it's so hard to place her. I feel like Barbara would be homophobic. It's probably just slightly off-right. Like here? I don't know. I feel like Barbara's the kind of person who'd call you a slur and not realize it's a slur. And then when you tell her, she'd be like really sorry, like genuinely sorry. And then she'd do it again the next day because she forgot. Like, I feel like that's the Barbara personality, you know? She heals people for free? I guess that's true. Right? Actually, does she? Or was that just because she knew us? Like, is that something that she provides, like, just in general? For everyone? Yeah. Okay. Ooh, well, that pushes her left, for sure. It's out of obligation as a role model? I mean, sure, but it's still... She still does the thing. Honestly, I think I'll just put her here. I've been convinced to put her slightly left, slightly more lib. I'll put her here. I am putting Rosaria here, and there's nothing you can do about it. Maybe even here, actually. Like, we don't see that much of her, but what we do see is, like, heavily focused on found family, community, as well as expressing disdain for authority in general. This is where I'm putting her. She's also able to separate her job from her identity, so not as dedicated to the structure of power, yeah. Like, she's definitely libertarian left. Diluc, honestly, very libertarian. I don't think very left, though. Actually, no, not libertarian. He dislikes the current... Okay, so Diluc doesn't like the current authority, but I don't think it's because he dislikes authority as a concept. He just would want someone else to have that authority. Like him, for example. So I think he would still be like more towards authoritarian. Now, left or right? I mean, he's a rich industry leader. How does he use his wealth? Is there any talk of him, like, using his wealth to help people? No? And he owns land? He's Batman? Yeah, but that's not what I'm saying, right? Like, that's not how he's using his wealth. He doesn't use his wealth for what he does as the, like, dark, whatever hero thing. Donates to the event? I mean, everyone does. And it's not like an actual charitable endeavor. It's just doing a thing. It could be considered as just doing charity to make himself look good. Because it's good for his interests. Okay, I think I would put him in here. And I guess last one with, like, relations to figures of authority in Mondstadt would be Eula. I'm not gonna count Lisa. I don't think as a librarian she has any, like... I don't know. I feel like it's not... Yeah. Eula is... I think I'll put her here. Authoritarian and slightly left. How is she left? I think that her heavy hatred, I guess, for her family and what her family does is enough to distance her from that right. Class rate of the good kind, yeah. Said that, but how is she authoritarian? She's against the aristocracy. That's her family. I mean, aristocracy is not the only form of authoritarianism. Disliking a specific form of authoritarianism doesn't mean that you dislike authoritarianism. Like, what does she dislike about it? The fact that there are people that have power, or the fact that those people in power do a lot of shitty things and are really actually kind of racist and pretty bad? It's not the authority she dislikes. It's what's being done with it. And she becomes a cop. She believes in the establishment. She just wants the establishment to be improved. You know? Like, I'll put her down a little bit, but I still think she's slightly authoritarian. Where are we putting her? Well, yep. Well, I think I'd put her like here. Maybe a little bit less authoritarian. Left authoritarian? I don't know about that one, Chief. Left? She does child labor. She was born poor? I mean, sure. And then she became the capitalism. Doesn't she bend the rules for Beto? Oh, person in position of power has enough control over the rules so that when there's someone they like, they can decide not to apply the rules to them? That is not libertarian. That is corruption. Just because she's in a position of power doesn't mean she's authoritarian. Sure, but the thing is, we see how much she craves power whenever we talk to her in the Leah story, right? Like, power and just, you know, being the girl boss, right? That's what she lives for. Yeah, she's on that Sigma grind side, exactly. If Ning isn't farthest right, who is? I don't know. I just want to give myself a little bit of room to the right, because I feel like she doesn't embody every single, like, right-wing thing, right? And I feel like there's gonna be characters that do it, that are more right. I think Yelan would be off-center, but basically, her personal views would align here, but her actions as an agent of the state would align more like here. I'll put her like here. Definitely around here in terms of the vertical axis. Why higher than Nang? Vibes. She gives me authoritarian vibes. Can't argue me out of that one, I'm sorry. Towards the left? What's the argument for her being left? She overworks herself? That's not an argument in either direction. She advocates workers' rights, does she? Wait, is that true? Lesbian chat, stop. Hillary takes human side in humans versus Adepti. I mean, I feel like viewing that as her, like, being on the human side rather than her wanting to yoink power is naive. Like, if you're anti-Adeptus in Leah, that means that you're pro the alternative, which in Leah is the, like, keqing. I'm sorry, pronunciation's hard. So again, I think that pushes her higher up in the vertical axis towards authoritarian, but yeah. I don't think it pushes her right or left. People are saying she wants, or someone's slavers advocate for workers' rights against employers or something. I think I'll put her here. Slightly left, very authoritarian. Okay, Xingqiu is like center right? I don't know about that. I feel like Xingqiu would actually be true center. I actually can imagine Xingqiu being the one saying, like, listen, why don't we just all speak together? And why don't we all just talk to each other? And listen to other people's views? Why don't we all just be nice towards each other? Let's just have a healthy debate. You know, I feel like both sides are presenting valid points. Don't make me want to punch him, I'm sorry. He uses his generational power to monopolize mineral trade. But as far as we were led to believe, he doesn't create a long-term monopoly. He just does a short-term action to basically force someone into an unfavorable trade, but that someone that's being forced is someone that was shown to be a really shitty person. He's market manipulating to stop someone else from market manipulating. You know? So it's like, you can say, well, he did market manipulation, that's, yep. But also, he did it to stop someone else from doing it, so it's like, It's hard to argue either way, I feel. A leftist would go to the government power. That's not true. A leftist living in a non-leftist society will not rely on the government to do the good things for them. Like, that's just not how things work. Like, we're not shown him ever trying to extend his wealth or power. He was born into a certain amount of power, and we're shown him using it, but we're only shown him using it in ways that are basically just trying to bring things back to fairness, I guess. Right? You've convinced me of true center, there you go. Wouldn't a leftist rely on the power of the community to bring balance? I mean, not necessarily. Like, a leftist belief would be to be like, the government should do this. But that doesn't mean that in a situation where the government is not doing it, you just sit on your hands, just looking at it and being like, well, things suck, I guess. Wouldn't even be necessarily left-wing. It would just be... Left-wing is like, something should be done about this. Authoritarian left-wing is like, the government should do something about this. Libertarian left-wing is, something should be done about this, but don't use my money for it. Don't use my tax dollars for it. No purrs. That could be, like, you doing it yourself, or it could be you not doing it yourself. Just like, if you think the government should do something about this, but the government isn't, you could also just do it yourself. No. I feel like xingqiu is true center. Okay, Child is literally a terrorist? Yes, he is. So Child is definitely right. But I don't think he's authoritarian. Is he? He's literally a communist, is he? What about his actions would lead you to believe that? He says, comrade, true. He believes in monarchy? I mean... yeah, but like, no. Like, does he actually... would die for his god? Would he? I feel like he is... he's shown to have his own motives that are not like... he's very loyal to her? Huh. Has unquestionable loyalty, really? The two want to take power from the gods to themselves. They're authoritarian, it's the whole point, and Child is one of the most loyal to the cause. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Maybe I just missed that. I guess I just missed that. A lot of what I've seen of him is just him being like, little bro, I want to fight. Come on, fight me. Fight me. Yippers, fight me. I feel like he doesn't talk about his motivations all that much. He's too like, what's the word? That is okay, Kona brain to equate Tsarism to communism. Yeah, bro. There's no communism quite like having a central authoritarian figure who is basically just a god that was decided by just being born as such, and who has complete and total power over everyone else. That's communism. Yuppers. Alright. Chad has convinced me to put him here. He relies on state support for his family. How does that affect his political ideology? It's not state support. Like, when you are an employee of the state and the state pays you by feeding your family, it's not like state intervention. It's not like welfare. That's your wage. Right? Like that's how you're paid. I feel like you have enough of an argument to make that Child was kind of just fucking forced into his position by circumstance, that putting him like too high in authoritarian would feel weird. He's loyal to the cause. Yeah, but why? Right? It was forced but ended up enjoying it. I mean, sure, but that doesn't mean that if he was given the opportunity... Like, you can look at it from an absurdist lens, you know? When Camus says that we must imagine Sisyphus happy, he doesn't mean that we must imagine that Sisyphus's dream was to push a boulder when he got older, and then it was just a blessing that he was cursed to push a boulder for eternity, right? Being able to find enjoyment and fulfillment in what you do does not mean that what you do aligns with what you wish you were doing. Yeah, like, he does participate in an authoritarian regime, but how much that aligns with his personal views is very hard to say, because he was very much forced into it. Which is why I am putting him in authoritarian, but not too high. I feel like Ayaka is hard to place because her role is very, very authoritarian, right? but she fucking hates her role. Like, she does it and she's proud of doing it, and she's like, she does get some pride from it, but also she's incredibly unhappy with it. So I would probably put her somewhere around here, actually. Slight lib left, yeah. Maybe I'll put her here just so that I have room for Ayato. Right, maybe here, actually. Actually, I don't know. I don't know enough about Ayato. Chat, for those of you who don't know, I literally forgot that I did his story quest. I thought I hadn't done his story quest, and then I went to check my story quest, and then his wasn't there, and I was like, what the fuck, where did it go? I do not remember doing his story quest, okay? Ayaka, Ayato more authoritarian. I don't think Ayaka should be authoritarian. With how much she supported the... I've been convinced. He's here. Kokomi is so clueless. Like... Far left? I don't know about that. Definitely left. I don't know if I would go far left. I think I'll put her like here. And then Gorou. Gorou's like here. Maybe here. Yeah, like here. About here. Sara. Yeah, Sarah's a good one. Where is she? Okay, honestly, I'm gonna put Raiden down a little bit just so that Sara can be higher. I don't think I'll put her too right. Like, she's definitely right, but I don't think I'll put her, like, as right as child or something. Like, I feel like she does, like, she disagrees with some of the things. She does them anyways, but she does have, like, some disagreements with them. So I don't want to put her too far right. I think yeah, goes here. Maybe like here. I don't think I need to explain this one. Okay. Yoimiya! I feel like it's very left. And decently libertarian. Yoimiya is an Antifa girl boss. What's Antifa? Antifa is anti-fascist. It's... God. Next I'm gonna have to define woke, huh? At its core, Antifa's purpose is to oppose fascism. But it's very often used as a way to refer to leftists you don't like. It is an American thing. I mean, kinda. Itto? I would put Itto here. Itto's just stupid? Yeah. Itto more left? I don't think so, no. Okay. Who else in Inazuma? Is that it? I guess Heizou? Kazuha is definitely very lib. I don't know how left or right, though. Yeah. I think he goes probably like here, though. Yeah, something like here. Why is he over? Okay, whatever. I'll just put him here. Higher than Heizou? Sure. You know what? I think this is better. Dori's bottom right for sure. 100% bottom right. Yeah, Dori lane cap for sure. Dehya? I think Dehya would be here. Slightly lib, very left. Very liberal. This is not liberal, this is libertarian. That's not the same thing. Nilou? She's too dumb to have a political alignment, man. Can I hide her under someone else? I can hide her under Dehya. I could hide her under Nahida. I can hide her under Cyno. It almost looks seamless. Okay, no. But doing it seriously, Probably around here is where I'd put her. Maybe a little here. I don't think I want to rank everyone, though. I feel like there are some that are, like, it just doesn't matter. Like, Mona, like, I don't care. No one cares about Mona's political alignment, let's be honest. Shenhe. Who cares? Farazan, like, I don't know. Let's do the Traveler, though. Traveler... I think I'll put Traveler in... around here. Very lib, decently right. Honestly, probably more like here. Like... all we care about is our family, and we kill minorities for their clothes. Like, that's what the Traveler does. Alhaitham. I feel like Alhaitham would be here. He wants there to be someone in power. He just doesn't want it to be him because he's lazy, basically. He wants there to be a Grand Sage. He just wants to do his job and then go home at the end of the day and... I don't know, do whatever he does with Kaveh. I'm not judging. Wanderer. I feel like Wanderer is about as authoritarian as Sara, honestly. But, like, it depends. So, like, Scaramouche is here, Wanderer is probably not. Wanderer is such a non-character, though. Right, like... like, Wanderer is such a boring character that I'm ranking Scaramouche instead. Fuck Wanderer. Wanderer is boring. So, Scaramouche would be... honestly, here. Okay. Honestly, I feel like I've done everyone I wanted to do. I don't think any of the other characters are, like, that interesting